Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kudash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And blessings to the whole for the elect, teaching this word in sincerity and truth. And I'm going to just get straight into this lesson. Forgive me if I don't sound clear. I'm still a little bit under the weather myself. I'm just getting over this fucking chest infection. Satan's doing this thing. And no wonder, man. The Pesach is coming up, man. So them demons get roused up, and Satan, like a roaring lion, walketh about, seeing those that he may sift, all right, looking those that he may devour. So loosely paraphrasing. So Lord willing, through the Spirit, we continue on, man. Basically, I came across this article here on RT, and I just shared it amongst the brotherhood over here in GMSLondon. I think it's a pretty good article. I haven't read all of it. I just read pretty much the headline and the first paragraph, and it kind of told me all that I need to know. Like, basically, I got to do a video on this right now. And the title reads, "Everyone has fallen for the lies about Venezuela." Okay? Now, what are the lies about Venezuela? First of all, what's the truth about Venezuela? The truth about Venezuela is that it's sitting on a large amount of natural resources. All right, it has an abundance of real riches, if you could say. All right, and we know, according to the history of the so-called white man, whenever he sees something that another nation possesses or has or is sitting on, you know what comes next. He goes in there all guns blazing. Why? I say all guns blazing because you're dealing with the so-called white man whose blessing, right, is the sword. Okay, and that was given to him by Isaac, who is Yahweh Shai. All right, and basically, what's he done with that blessing? Okay, and first and foremost, what I want to do, all right, before I go on, I just want to get this precept real quick. Because it said everyone has fallen for the lies about Venezuela. Okay, so let me get Psalms. Psalms chapter 58, verse 3. It says, "The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies." Okay, so that's what you got to understand about the MO of the so-called white man, is that he's estranged from the womb, and he'll do anything, right, what's within his grasp to basically steal and to kill and to destroy, right? Because he was created to be the wicked. Okay, so that tackles that, all right, because we know that the so-called white man is a liar. All right, reading on, it says socialism, ditching the dollar, and having natural resources are the three crimes that usually provoke the U.S. into overthrowing a foreign government. Let me read that again. Hey man, this truth is coming out, and it's like, you got these alternative news media outlets such as this that basically will just slate America clean. All right, and that's why we use these news media outlets, because you can't get any cleaner than that. Once you filter what they're saying through the scriptures, that because the Lord says what in Jeremiah 49:10 that he was going to make Esau bare, and he should not be able to hide himself, and he was going to uncover his secret places. All right, and your MO has been basically your algorithm or your makeup for basically going into another's land and raping their women, robbing them blind. All right, through the use of force, as using the sword, your blessing. All right, that is basically being highlighted, and all the nations know it. And that's why you got other nations, or you got not other nations, because the Russians are Edomites too. But you got the Russians. They basically said what, if you go into America, look, they said don't do that, because we're back in Venezuela. Okay, it says socialism and ditching the dollar. All right, yeah, because basically if you ditch the dollar, there's one thing that Apostle Tahar said. He said one you make the mistake of fucking with another man's money. All right, that's when you go basically you're gonna receive a backlash, so to speak. All right, because if you step on a man's money, you're fucking up the way he eats, so to speak, man. All right, and you already know how greedy the so-called white man is. Okay, so ditching the dollar would be fucking up their money. Socialism, same thing. All right, negative propaganda on a country. All right, that can really fuck up their reputation with the rest of the world. All right, and with the other nations, it says, and having natural resources, just sitting on natural resources is enough. Right, it's like fucking how can I say, man, or mosquitoes to blood. All right, Esau ain't nothing but a giant fucking mosquito that sniffs out blood everywhere he goes. All right, once he sniffs out that blood, he's coming to suck it clean, dry. All right, it says, are the 3 crimes that usually provoke the US into overthrowing a foreign government. And these are the reasons it's back in the coup in Venezuela. And that's why they set up, they set up this coup. And this guy Guaido just popped up out of nowhere. All right, and is attempting to overthrow President Maduro over in Venezuela. Why? Because this is a straight up coup set up by the US. But everyone's privy to their lies now. All right, but they don't care. They're going to do it anyway. Why? Because they got the blessing of the sword. And they're going to use that blessing until they're taken out of power, man. All right. It says, there are 3 things I know for sure in this financial, sometimes inglorious experience we call life. You will never have a safety pin when you need one, and you will have thousands when you don't need one. Wild animals are breathtakingly majestic until they're crawling up your pant leg. And as a US presidential administration will never admit that it invaded another country, right? Or backed a coup, right? Invading another country. And to be honest, Apostle Gabar always speaks about this, man. The definition of America means bitter, all right? Because America was built up in a bitter way, all right? Just look at how they invaded the Native American Indians, and now they're trying to build a wall. The absolute audacity of, going in and invading another man's land, and then you're gonna build a wall to keep them out of their own land. All right, and then you walk around saying you discover it with a puffed out chest. You discovered it, Which, how can you discover something where someone was always living at, man? All right, and that's why the truth is coming out in these Edomites, man. All right, these elites, and they're not able to hide themselves. It says, a U.S. presidential administration will never admit that it invaded another country or backed a coup attempt in order to essentially steal the natural resources of oil of said country. All right, so this is what I'm saying, man. And it goes on to say, let me just read this last part, then we'll get some scriptures, Lord willing. This is why it was so very shocking last week when the members of the Trump administration admitted they were backing a coup attempt in order to essentially steal the natural resources, oil of another country. And that's what this so-called white man does, all right? He basically steals, man, all right? And he's the one going around ruling the nations in wrath, right? Through the blessing that he was given with the sword, okay? Listen, let me just go ahead and get John 10 and 10 real quick. Basic scriptures, but there's power in these scriptures, so I'm going to read them. It says, John 10 and 10, the thief cometh not, but for to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. And that's Esau, man. The MO of the so-called white man is to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And that's what he does. Everywhere he goes, he leaves a trail of blood. All right? And that's why the scripture says, violence covereth him as a garment, man. Okay? This is Revelation 6 and 4, dealing with the blessing of the so-called white man. Okay? And it says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given unto him that sat thereon, to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword, and that great sword, right, is representative of the blessing that Esau received when you go all the way back to the book of Genesis. And now here in these last days, the scriptures speak about the earth being given into the hand of the wicked. All right, and the wicked is also known as Esau Edom when you go to the book of Malachi, the 1st chapter and the 4th verse. And they're the same people upon whom the Lord have indignation against forever. The same people who King David even prophesied against and said, I hate them even with a perfect hatred. And King David is a man after the Most High's heart. All right. So it's, there's nothing wrong in terms of hating these Edomites, man. All right. Because all he does is take peace from the earth. Okay. And that's why no one is enjoying life, so to speak, these days, man. All the nations are in an uproar because he constantly takes peace from the earth, and you can't have nothing, right, without a so-called white man saying so. Why? Because he's a covetous man. He'll look at his plate and look at your plate. He doesn't want you to have a damn thing, and that's ultimately why he wants to chip everybody, because he wants to take all individuality from the nations on the face of the earth. He wants to take all of that from you, man. All right, your so-called free will in a worldly sense of the word. All right, because ultimately we don't have free will. The scriptures speak about man's goings are of the Lord. How then can a man understand his own way? But when Esau sees that you're making headway without him, he doesn't like that. When he sees that you're ditching the dollar, he ain't gonna like that. When he sees that you're sitting on certain riches, he gonna come in, man, like a whirlwind and take your shit. All right, and that red horse, all right, that's talking about Esau, Edom. All right, because when you go into the Hebrew, the Hebrew word for red, right, is Adawam. Okay, so that red horse and power was given unto him to take. Hey, horse represents power, so that's talking about Esau, Adawam, the red man's power structure. All right, and that blessing that he's used to take peace from the earth. And what's he done with it? Let's go to Isaiah, and this is why these nations gradually they're gonna come up against the so-called white man, because it's he's been laid bare. And the weak are now saying that they're strong, and they've all got no nuclear capabilities now. So there's going to be World War III, and there's going to be the war to end all war, so to speak. Okay, this is Isaiah 14:5. The Lord have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. All right, and the wicked is talking about Esau, Edom. All right, who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations, right? He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. How has he done that? Through the blessing of the sword, all right, through constantly invading lands, all right, setting up an excuse, even blowing up his own corporations, all right, and blaming it on a certain group of people in order to use that as an excuse to go in and invade that country, and then we just so happen to find oil. At the same way that we were taking revenge, we just so happened to find oil, and now we're just a bit more wealthy. That's how Esau does it, man. He's a fucking thief. All right, we just so happened to find oil while we was on our road to revenge. For the same people that blew up 9/11, the towers in 9/11. All right, this is everyone knows that that was an inside job, but that's going into something else anyway, man. That's just how the so-called white man gets down, man. It says the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. All right, that brings me to my next precept real quick. All right, this is Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Okay, so you can't tell me that I ain't talking about Esau's rulership. That's why the Lord says what? Because of unjust dealings and injuries and riches got by the... In fact, let me get that, man. I don't want to just quote it. I want to get it because, these scriptures are just flowing right now. I want to get it and then speak on it. What's that? Sirach 10:8. Yep. Because of unrighteous dealings, this is Sirach 10:8. Because of unrighteous dealings and injuries and riches got by deceit. All right. Riches got by deceit. That should tell you a lot. All right. Going into what I just explained just a minute ago, man. All right, setting up reasons or excuses to go into another nation's land and steal their natural resources. Okay, setting up a coup. All right, all of these are examples of riches attempted to be got by deceit, and he's actually done it, man. He's actually gained riches by deceit before. Okay, and he's using that same formula to constantly over and over again do it to all these nations, man, until no one has anything. He just wants to monopolize the whole world. Okay. Hey, but you can't blame him, man. This is his rulership. He's got the blessing of the sword. In some ways you can say he has the right to do that because he's been given, the dominion over the earth. The earth was given into the hand of the wicked, and he's doing that. He's ruling the earth in a wicked way. All right, but there's gonna come a time where that pomp is gonna be brought down, man. All right, that pride. Okay, it says the kingdom is translated from one people to another. All right, and that's gonna be when our kingdom is established, man, underneath Yahweh Shai. Okay, in fact, let me get this real quick before I lose the point. 2 Ezra 6:9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And that should just tell you straight the times that we're living in, man. The earth's being given into the hand of the wicked, all right, and Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob's the beginning of it that followeth, man. That should tell you, indicate you exactly who the kingdom is going to be translated to. Who's the one people and who's the other people. Right now, Esau has the power of the world in his hands, but there's going to come a time where it's going to be translated to another people, which are the Israelites. Micah chapter 2 verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. The earth being given into the hand of the wicked, and that's why they work this evil, man. All right? Because remember, the scriptures speak about in Jeremiah 13, I believe, in 23. Can a leopard change his spots or Ethiopian his skin? Yea, also ye that do good, that are accustomed to do evil. You're tailor-made to do evil, Esau. All right, and it's been given to the power of the earth has been given into your hand. All right, and that's why you work iniquity, man. All right, it says, and they cover fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. And that's what they do. They go around conquering, taking peace from the earth through the blessing of the sword. And they don't give a fuck who it affects, man. All right, because they're greedy and they're insatiable. In fact, let's get, oh man. See, I didn't even want this video to be too long, man. But this is Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 5. Ye also, because he transgresseth by wine his false philosophies, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, man, and is as death. All right, so Esau's got that cloak of death just cloaked around him, and everywhere he goes, he spreads that decay and death and murder and thievery and robbery and lies, man. That's just Esau's MO, man. All right, and he doesn't keep at home. He doesn't stay in one place. He's always got his hand in a cookie jar, so to speak. Okay, and it says death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Okay, so that's what you got to understand. Let me jump down to verse 12 real quick. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establisheth a city by iniquity. And how was America established? And how is America still being established? Okay, it's still being built with blood. All right, still setting up coups, still robbing all the other nations, still using excuses to go and blow up villages and towns and whatever, man. All right, Esau ain't changed. It's just another day. All right, and he's still in power right now. Okay, so let's go back into Isaiah 14. All right, and it says, back in verse 7 of Isaiah 14, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fella is come up against us. So even the trees are going to break forth into singing, man. Even the trees hate you, Esau. All right, and a fella is basically a lumberjack, someone that chops down trees. Okay, mass deforestation. Esau's known for that also. All right, he's literally taken peace from the earth. Okay, he's even taken peace from the trees. Okay, verse 9. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee. Even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. So all the nations are coming for you, Esau. Okay, why? Because you ruled the nations in wrath, and you basically smote them with a continual stroke, like it said in verse 6. Okay, it said, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become as weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Right? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy voils, and the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. And that pomp really represents your pride, okay? Because when you go into that word pomp, okay, let's get that real quick. All right, and the Hebrew word is ka'awan. All right, Salakia if I'm pronouncing it. It says exaltation, majesty, pride. Okay, so that prompt, that exaltation, all right, that pride, it says majesty, exaltation, excellence. Let's go down. It says pride, arrogance in a bad sense. All right, so you know, Esau, you're basically the arrogant red man, right? That's been given the blessing of the sword, and your pride and your arrogance it doesn't allow you to fear anybody. All right, because you've been given the power of the earth in your hand. Okay. It says what in Strong's definitions? It says the same as arrogancy, excellency, majesty, pomp, pride, proud, swelling. All right, so you're busting at the seams with pride, Esau. Okay, you're swelling up with pride. Okay, and that's why the Lord says what? Obadiah 1 and 3. It says, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee. The pride, okay, that arrogancy, that swelling, that pomp, right? That pride has deceived you, Esau. All right. And this is how you know it's talking about the so-called white man, all right, which lines up with Job 30 perfectly. It says, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, all right, clefts of the rock. And that's why you guys call yourselves Caucasians, because when you go into that word Caucasian, the definition of that word, it means a cave dweller, okay? And that's basically you, okay? You dwell in the clefts. Dwell in the clefts of the rock, man, and that's why you got this concrete jungle, and you're forcing everyone to live amongst your habitation, so to speak, or how you would like to live. That's why when you go into these cities, it's nothing but they're nothing but big caves. When you walk into a massive a store, what's it built with? Bricks and water. It's nothing but caves. All right, your habitation is high, man. All right, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And that's that pride that's deceived you, Esau. All right, you've been getting riches by deceit, but you're about to be deceived. Okay, it says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle. And what does America pride themselves on? What's America's national bird? It's the eagle. Okay, and though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. All right, and pertaining to when this truth started coming out on a grand scale. All right, starting with High Priest Elder Abba Bivens. All right, 1969, 1970. All right, that's when they claimed themselves to be going to the moon. All right, so they were setting them nest among the stars back then, and this truth came out at the same time, and they've been going down ever since. So we're in the last days of the last days. All right, and they exalt themselves as the eagle. That tells you that's America, man. Okay, it says, thence would I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, so yeah, man, with that, man, Lord willing, you Arkin were edified. Hey, man, the truth is coming out about these Edomites, man. All right, the trickery, the thievery, the skullduggery, all of the detestable works that they do, the iniquity that they work. All right, it's all being brought to light now, okay? And they can't hide themselves. In fact, I know I quoted it, but I'm going to just go ahead and read it real quick. Jeremiah, I'm going to close out on this. Jeremiah 49 and 10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places. He shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. Alright, so Esau, you've been laid bare. The truth is out in you devils. Alright, ye that work iniquity upon your beds. Alright, you thief, you liar. Alright, you devil. Okay, so with that, Lord willing, you Arkin were edified, and I'm going to say shalom.